Possible abortions, a brand new eye, and someone leaves Salem and ends up in our studio. We got your full recap of Days of Our Lives coming up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days, where we give you a full recap of NBC's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by our wonderful special guest. She's no stranger to the show. In fact, she probably knows more about this show than we do. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Jen Lilley! Snaps for Jen.
I'm giving myself the 3 snaps. Thanks.
And of course, I'm joined by my gaggle of gals. Starting to my far left, we have
me, Michael Mattis.
And of course, the very beautiful
Hi y'all, Tami here.
And Mark J. Freeman is off to Zurich, Germany with his hubby.
Mark.
Yeah, so safe travels to Mark. And James Locke Jr. says hello to everyone.
Yes,
He's
he
still
says hello,
recovering, so let's...
And we say hello back.
Yeah, hello.
Miss you.
So
Hello,
give him
get
a lot of
well.
love. Yeah. And if you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are DISHIN Days on Facebook and Instagram. And on Twitter, we are _DISHIN Days. The at is implied. And if you haven't already, make sure you go to iTunes, listen to us on there, give us 5 stars and a comment, and who knows, you may be our fan of the week.
Woohoo!
Nice.
That was a mouthful,
I
wasn't
know
it?
it.
Mm-hmm. That's just the beginning. What did you guys think of this week of days? We won't start with you yet. Michael Mattis?
It was pretty solid. Nothing very exciting. I found myself. Well,
You
sorry.
said it was boring.
I did overall. Like there were some high points, but overall it was boring.
Jen Lilley
Like,
doesn't know how to take that comment. She's like, "What? What do you mean?" I was exciting.
Well, no, I just mean it was emotional. It was a very emotional week. But I found myself. Like that storyline was the one I was paying attention to
There we
because
go.
there was the most happening basically.
Yeah.
Every other storyline it was just kind of like they were there having these conversations and I was like whatever.
Wow.
Tami.
Okay, go.
You know, which conversations translates to like emotional stuff. I thought it was a very emotional week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously with Teresa and Brady and everyone, and then Lonnie and Eli and that whole baby thing. Lots of baby stories.
Babies.
Yeah,
Lots of babies.
lots of upsetting baby stories. But just emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy week to watch, and not because it was boring, but because it was just a lot of
Info.
gut stuff.
Well,
What did you think, Jen Lilley?
I mean, I loved it. I just want to know, like, what do you need from a soap? Because we had, like, baby daddy news and a possible abortion and custody and cancer and, like,
you know,
sex
You know
and
what I think-
donuts.
You know what I
I'm
think
like,
it is?
whoa.
It's the way it's being presented to us. Like a lot of things are happening off camera that we're not seeing.
Okay.
Like the way that Wednesday's episode ended. Was it Wednesday? Wednesday. With Teresa and
Roman.
Teresa and
They did.
Roman.
Oh,
It was
Roman.
wrong.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was
That
like-
was just wrong.
And then what was the line? He was like, "Oh, something's wrong with your mom."
Yeah.
I've got some bad news about your mom.
He's got some bad news about your
And
mom.
then
and
the
then
next
when we came
episode
back the next
is
episode,
you're on your way to LA. We have no idea what's going on. That
Yeah.
conversation
Okay.
never took place.
Yeah.
Like there should have been a moment with you on the phone with at least your father
And
or
you
your
know,
mom.
yeah.
Just a
that's
little
just
bit.
that's just
Yeah.
an
Fair.
example.
It's fair.
It's
That's
like,
fair.
what's going on?
I
So,
also
yeah.
thought it was interesting to, you know, to just piggyback on the complaint. Sorry, but like Kimberly never did have cancer.
Well, that was another
So
question.
all the
like,
fans on Twitter were like, "Did she have cancer?
like, did I miss
before?" And I was like, "No, there's a convenient like exit, I guess."
Well, wait, before
Sorry,
we
Patsy Peas.
before
We're
we
all calling for
elaborate,
ya.
yeah, right. Before we elaborate anymore, let's do the official. It's now time to start DISHIN Days. Jen Lilley, will you do the honor of turning our hourglass?
Flip it, girl.
Yeah, set it and forget it. Yay!
Okay.
All right, so
my.
speaking of all things Jen Lilley and Teresa, we're going to kick things off with Teresa, Brady, Eve, JJ, and Jennifer. This custody battle was like, well, I said it last week. I'm sorry, Jen.
It's all right. It's all right. Let me just drink. Can I get some vodka?
I again felt like, you know, it was another plan of Teresa's that she thought of but didn't fully think of. And I think afterwards she felt
terrible
and remorseful
Yes.
about it. Like in that last moment when she was like, I don't care what the court says. You know, you can come and see Tate whenever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I wish this Teresa was like here like last week to just like in the custody. But
she's a victim of human trafficking.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was actually realistic, as disappointing as it was. I think it was actually realistic to someone who has been a victim, who doesn't trust people, who is acting like a caged animal that's just been backed into a
You're
corner.
still on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, so she can't
for
think
sure.
logically. It's just like, I need to survive. I need to get
And
my
Teresa
son.
never did think
and-
logically anyway.
Right.
So piggyback, like you said, the human trafficking.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it was, I actually think it was like pretty realistic of a reaction on her part.
I also feel like time stopped for Teresa because from the time she left Salem to the time that she was in Mexico to the time she came back, it was just kind of like that time in Mexico never happened, and she kind of expected to come back and just pick up where she left off when she left. But for everyone else,
It's like
they like
she
moved forward.
thought Salem was on pause.
Yeah.
I mean, Mexico happened, but.
Well, yeah, Mexico for sure happened, but
yeah,
Salem
like
was on
yeah,
pause.
totally.
Yeah.
But I also think that's like pretty realistic to like people that are kidnapped and stuff. They come back and they think everything's gonna back to normal.
Gonna be the
and-
same.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then it's not.
like pretty. I actually feel like that's like psychologically pretty accurate, even
Yeah.
though maybe it's like disappointing for storytelling, but
Well, speaking
because it
of,
wasn't fully explored.
yeah. Well, speaking of people who did things that didn't fully think them out.
Eve.
I was
my
like, which one do we
gosh.
want to
And
address?
No,
Really? There's so
I was
many
gonna
people
start
to
with
talk about.
JJ.
Yeah.
Like it was such a great moment, but I just wanted to be like, no, like
He
think about what you're
sacrificed.
doing.
Yeah. His self-sacrifice for Teresa.
But
Yeah.
what I loved about that is it really showed his arc
Yeah.
and your arc. And what did you call him? He was a child. What?
He went from twunk to hunk.
Yeah,
Twunk to
you know,
hunk.
Yes.
both of you.
Yeah.
He's matured. Yeah.
Both of the
Yeah.
characters have matured so beautifully,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a chemistry there before, but there's a whole other kind of
They
chemistry
showed
going on
a
now.
few weeks ago, what do you call it? Flashback of you
Yeah.
and Casey.
Yeah.
And you guys were just like so young and innocent, especially Casey.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Casey's
Oh, he
really
was, like,
matured.
really young.
Yeah, he was like boy, and now he's man, and it was funny to see. Oh yeah, that's what they
And do
were.
you want to know why they didn't put us together in the beginning?
What?
Like real life. They wanted to put Teresa and JJ together,
Uh-huh.
and I went to the production room and I was like, I don't know that I can do that because he looked verbatim. I mean verbatim, the photo by photo, detail by detail, identical to my little brother who's his same age.
Oh.
And I was like, and my
No,
little
you
brother
can't
went
do
to a
that.
school named Salem High School, so I would
That's
have
just
to.
bizarre.
It
I
was
know.
really uncomfortable for me, and I had to work with the acting coach Maria. She's amazing, but I would have to rehearse with Casey beforehand, even being like, "So, how is Salem High School?" I had to do that downstairs in the dressing rooms with the acting coach because I was like, I don't know if I could touch him. And he goes to Salem High School, and so does my brother. So like that was actually like. They
It was too
wouldn't-
real,
They
yeah.
wanted to put us together, but it was actually me that was like, "You're gonna have to write me in with somebody else because I actually can't do it." And now Casey and my brother look nothing alike, so it's like cool. With me.
But there was such a great moment with you and JJ. I always teeter if I should say the real name or the
Yeah.
character name. We'll say the character name. In
I
the
actually
pub,
do too.
right?
When they interview me, I'm like, as Jen Lilley, but and they're like, who are you talking? I'm like, I don't know, I'm both of them.
But in the pub, there was such a great moment where like you could tell that there was
So much
something
chemistry.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like when I'm going to leave and he spun me around.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
so
I
good.
was like, that was like a dance. Because
Yeah.
you never know. We only get one take, so you
Yeah.
never know. And that was actually the momentum of like, yeah, because I told him, Casey knows with me, I'm like, just go for it. You're not going to hurt me. I'm like
Yeah.
a mom of boys. Like, oh, I have bruises all the time. So just like grab me. And it was like a little dance move. It was so cute.
I like it.
Then they
was-
were
it was
interrupted.
beautiful.
I know, by
By the
Roman.
news.
Oh yeah.
But okay,
Teresa?
was
I was like,
Stop it.
Ro, Uncle Ro. No.
Ro.
We were about to kiss. I was
I
like, oh, looking at the lips. Roman? Ro? Okay.
I literally thought though that they killed Kimberly.
I
Oh, really?
Did too.
Because when he was like, I have some bad news, I was like, oh no, what happened? And then the next day, it was like, I never got a chance to say, and I was like, did they just kill her off?
And maybe that was their point to build a little suspense about what happened and not just give it to us right away.
Right.
But I feel like I'm too critical. I know. I just don't think there was a better way to tell that.
Well, I breathed a sigh of relief when it was just like the leukemia came back, but then it also.
But I'm surprised to hear because I didn't know that she did. I just took it for what it was.
She never had it.
That was
I
the
didn't
thing.
know that
It was just
until
a
like 2 minutes
vehicle
ago.
of escape. But I did like that it justified that my parents never called me.
Right.
Because Teresa had said that, like, where are my
But it didn't
parents?
justify why did they call Roman to tell him? Why didn't they call you directly to tell you?
Well, it was kind of explained why they didn't really keep in contact with her because they were waiting for the results of
but
of
Roman
the thing.
knows
Once they
he
knew,
had the phone call. Why didn't they call you first once they knew?
Because they also knew, and they explained that too. Also, because they knew I was under tremendous stress
With the
like
custody
coming back
battle
and the
and
custody
come back
battle and all of
yeah.
it. And so I can get that as a parent, how you're just like, let's not worry our kid until like it's a thing.
My parents
but
do that.
By the time Roman brought you aside and said, I have some devastating news, why didn't your parents call you?
That's why, because they didn't want to.
But they told Roman.
But
at that
But
moment.
Roman's not under the amount of duress that Teresa was in.
It's
So
like
it's gonna be easier coming from Uncle Roman
it's
as opposed to your parents.
It's kind of
that was the weird thing.
it's
Like if
giving-
I
I
heard
guess
it from
they
my
didn't-
uncle first,
I guess-
without hearing it from my parents, that was the.
I guess the thing is they want it because it's a TV show. They want it to be not a phone call where the actor's not hearing anything on the other line.
Yeah.
Because you're just holding up a dead phone to your ear, and so I think it actually is easier for the actor if you can look in somebody's eyes.
Respond.
And, like,
To
react
have
to
a
it.
response. That's what I would think.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you, chat room. They always help us out. Daquan says Kim did have cancer and Bo was her bone marrow donor.
What?
Oh.
Really? Okay, can you tweet me that in a real way at Jen, JEN_Lilley, LILLEY, because I've been getting a lot of tweets about how Kimberly didn't have cancer, and I just didn't watch the show at that point, so I would love to clarify that.
And we will also, James Lott Jr.,
Good.
I know you're watching.
Yes,
He's
of
our
course.
show's historian, so he'll also clarify it for us too. He'll do like a long paragraph
That's
thing
right.
for you explaining it.
Well, good on Ron Carlivati then. It's like he did honor the history of the show.
Exactly. So
And one
there
other
you go.
thing too I wanted to say about JJ is I've felt so bad for Teresa because no one has stood up for her from the minute you entered Salem.
Mm-hmm.
JJ's been the only one. So when he took the fall for you, it made sense.
It totally made sense.
It made sense. It's like thank you. Somebody is standing up for her.
But there's a difference between standing up for you and like being dumb.
Okay.
I know, but I think it was kind of like you knew the
being
judge was
heroic.
about to just take her kid from her. And
Right.
he didn't feel like he had any other
It was
option.
it was a selfless act.
Yes.
You know.
Just threw himself
But
in
now
front
just
of the-
watch, it's gonna just
I know,
crumble
what do we
for
think
him.
is
Well, no,
gonna
he's already
happen?
lost his job or got
already
Well, he
lost
got
his
suspended.
job.
He got suspended. Which what I found funny was that when Teresa got fired from Bella Magazine
with Victor.
with Victor, she goes to JJ and like, "Can you put in a good word for me as an EMT?"
I know.
To be like, "Girl,
got all
he
the
just
skills."
confessed to cocaine. He didn't have no job."
I know, but she
Shouldn't say that.
you know, she didn't know.
This is true, but it was just the whole custody battle though, because at first it was kind of like, why are we doing this? But then as a fan and soap writing, there was so many other things that came up in the custody.
It wasn't
hearing.
just about the custody.
It wasn't
became
just about the custody.
Deimos.
Now it's about
Deimos,
Deimos'
yeah.
murderer.
Dude,
It's
yes,
now
right? The
Eve-
amulet.
Yeah,
What an ass, Brady. Like,
right.
I'm like, he does not deserve Teresa. I'm sorry. I don't like where they've brought his character. And
Well,
I love Brady.
he
As
was-
Jen Lilley and as Teresa.
He was hurt back then. So when you're hurt, you do dumb things.
We can't argue that.
I just don't even know. I just like so many crass things in my head that I will not let my mouth say out loud. So, moving on.
Shady Sunday.
Shady Sunday. But and then
Brady.
Eve and what she's going through with for some reason I really did want her to go, no, it wasn't him. But she kept real quiet about the whole thing. And
Right.
even Chloe was like, which is why.
That was I was like, why are you talking
I know.
to Chloe?
Why are you telling
Will
Chloe?
you just shut your
you
trap?
know it's just gonna,
Y'all, we have
the tape recorder of
established
Salem. She's
we
just
have
gonna-
established Chloe's character in Salem. She is the tea spiller.
Yes.
She collects all the tea and
she
then
said-
she uses the receipt when she needs to.
Chloe had a line where she's like, the truth eventually comes out, and I responded verbally like, yeah, by you.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
she's a tea spiller.
And
That's what
she's
she's supposed
hovering
to
at
do.
the bar.
And she always starts with, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but brrr, and it just goes.
And Chloe sits there like,
Yeah, I know, right? But I love that they did that for Teresa too, because it gave me another level to play of like, I would never do this to Brady. Mm-hmm. Like, I would never frame you for murder
true.
or allow anyone to think that you were the murderer.
You'll take his kid. Never frame him for murder, though.
I wanted to share custody the whole time, and then he planted cocaine, but he didn't. Victor and Eve did.
Yep.
I want to see that fall out. I want
Yeah.
to see
Me
Brady
too.
cry. Be like,
I want
"What?
tears."
Teresa!
Well, just like that.
It's like just street
Just
party desire.
drive to the border of Salem and just
That's how I
look
come
towards
back.
California. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I come back.
I like-
Teresa! She like pulls up in a cab. I
Yeah.
heard you calling my name. I heard you calling my name.
Well,
Next song.
we have Jennifer, who's Nancy Drew and on the case and trying to figure
I love her
out.
as a reporter.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I love her doing what she's doing. Like, she's gonna find who did all this.
Yeah.
She's gonna get justice for her boy, and her confrontation with Eve was amazing.
But she put the pieces of the puzzle
Yeah,
together
she did.
really
She
quickly.
figured it
She's a mama bear.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
She was like, but did you notice she never did
Never said
say
she
that
did.
she didn't do it?
Right.
So I wonder if she has something. And then who was there before? If it wasn't Brady, I need the name of the child protective service person who was there. And I was like, you better be on it.
We have to
Crumbling down.
yeah, we have to give Melissa Reeves some credit for having really difficult lines.
Yeah.
She plays them well, man.
Yeah.
She's a
To
pro.
have to
Yeah,
be like the
she's
dot
great.
connector, that sucks as an actor. You're like, oh Lord, here we go. She's so good. She's
So
she's
good.
such a brilliant actress and so beautiful.
Yes.
Like, why do you look younger than me? So beautiful.
It's like she never ages. Never ages. But wow, and then sadly we had Teresa leave
Yeah.
in a cab, mind you.
I know. I was like,
That
my
went
God.
meh, meh, and I was like, I have never heard a car pull up near the pub. Like that was my thought when I heard the horn.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
you didn't hear the
there a-
horn?
No.
There was a
Yeah.
horn. It was like beep beep, and I was like,
It was an odd sounding
Okay.
horn. It didn't like I was like, what? Oh, it was a horn.
Yeah.
I had to think.
beep. So and Jen Lilley, we'll talk more and get more in depth, but like just
On air or off? Like, what story do you want? I'm
both.
just kidding.
But now that like your Teresa stint has come to
A
an
pause?
end or a pause,
Yeah.
a pause.
Thank you.
Please hold.
Please hold.
How do you feel about this return of Teresa and how the storylines
Mm-hmm.
progressed and the ruckus that you caused and then the quick exit?
I have a lot of mixed feelings on it. So, one thing I have to remember is that I'm not the writer, and that's a good thing because I'm not a writer, so I don't understand how a writer weaves all the tapestry together to make a story, like a blanket that just covers everything. So, I have to credit Ron because I do know that as a writer, he had to satisfy the relationship between Brady and Eve. Like, he knew it was temporary. He knew I wasn't staying for more than 12 weeks, so he had to make sure that that relationship lasted because I'm leaving the canvas. So he's not going to destroy something that he wants to carry on. Though, I don't know, because Eve did, that was like messy with the cocaine and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So like artistically, as somebody that works in the entertainment industry and understands that, I think he did a great job. As an actor and as like a fan of the show, I was disappointed because, well, just because like I had like 50-50 mixed feelings because I did like that Teresa got to cry and release her emotions to Brady. Like I loved my entrance. I loved the scenes with Brady, whether I was in the green dress or the red jumpsuit, like day after day. And I'm just like, we're just yelling and she's trying to like tell him and convince him. I loved those scenes. I thought they were so great. But, you know, the custody battle, it was, like, the same way the fans feel. Just like, why? Like, why? You know? But you get it. Because they have to get the kid off the show. Yeah. Because it's an entertainment tool. Kids are very hard to work with. Mm-hmm. Like, you saw the scene in the pub with the kid, like, being like, hey, Daddy! Like, very emotional. Like, hey, camera! And you're like, oh, gosh, we got to write them off.
P.S. You have so much grease on your hands now. Because, you know,
I was
so many juices and berries in my hand. I'm so sorry. Like, these are not natural curls, everyone. These are, like, this is, like, all kinds of gunk in it.
He didn't wake up that way.
I love you. Oh, Beyonce. So, so that just happened. This is why this should be your favorite episode of Dishin Days. So, anyway, so I don't know. Like, does that make sense? I was like, I just felt 50-50 about it because it depends. As someone who works in the industry and understands why they had to do the things they do, I appreciated it and thought it was done as cleverly as possible. As like a fan of the show and as an actress, there were some things that I wish would have been explored more, like the human trafficking. Like, why didn't I really talk about that?
Well, and I think after you were here last time and explained it, I kind of understood. Oh, okay. I kind of switched my thinking about Teresa.
But it was only after she explained it that we really understood.
And I think one issue, the I don't want to call it a problem, but one of the reasons a lot of the viewers weren't really sympathetic towards Teresa was because
it wasn't fully explained.
We didn't fully explain. We didn't see it. It wasn't really presented to us. And I know they can only go so far with it, but still, they could have done more to show us.
You have to have like a degree in psychology to understand why she's acting the way she's acting.
Because we didn't see it.
Except for they did have 2 times. I think I was talking to Brady. When I was like, I don't want to tell you, like, I don't want to talk about, like, what happened in Mexico. Right. That happened. And then in the courtroom, there was one time when I was giving, like, my account, and you could see that Teresa was just very uncomfortable, just, like, trying to edit. Like, I don't want to go to Mexico. I don't want to talk about Mexico. But, like, so there's that in the courtroom. But unless you're understanding my subtext and you're in her mind, then you don't, it's just like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with the fans.
I felt bad for Brady.
It was 50-50. I mean, I do not feel bad for Brady. Are you kidding me?
I felt bad for
You just said that to get a reaction.
I felt bad for Brady. Eric Martzoff,
he does not deserve her. I love Eric Martzoff.
No, I mean the whole custody
Teresa
thing and taking
loves
Tate
Brady.
away.
Jen Lilley is like, girlfriend, get it together. Your kid's going to end up in foster care and end up at my house. So, Jesus. Enough with the abuse.
Pack and play number 4.
Lord.
Let's keep it moving right along because we want to make sure we have time to talk to you more and take some questions. So, Abigail, Chad, Stefan, and Gabby.
Crazy.
Yeah. Kudos to Camila Banos because
she's great.
I'm kind of digging this like evil side of Gabby.
I like it too.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
I always like those kinds of characters though, like
the Sammy, Teresa, Nicole. No,
I did not. I was never a fan of Sammy. Oddly enough.
Really?
Like no, I never that character.
Cut his mic off.
When I started watching the show, Sammy was just such an unlikable character, and that always stuck with me, no matter how she changed.
I don't know. I feel like I resonated with Sammy. I don't know why.
So Gabby was killing it. Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
But I think they've given Gabby more time to show just why she is the way she is. Like I get it.
And we get it because we saw it on screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which Teresa never got that time, that playtime. So
I liked the flashback with Gabby getting the results and being pissed, like, oh, of course, once again,
too many
you know, she gets.
Though.
But it's
and
kind
they're
of
long.
But here's the thing about the flashback.
It's like I saw this already.
We just said there are things that happen off camera that we wish we could see. Well, what they do is they progress the story forward, and then they take us back to make us go, oh, because I liked when they did the flashback of her getting the results and being pissed that it is Chad's kid, but no, it's Chad's kid.
Oh, that flashback.
But she switched the results, and that moment where she was like, once again, she's getting away with everything. Which, by the way, we've kind of said the same thing in regards to like. Comparing Abigail and Ben to where like they go, oh, it's okay, you were like, not yourself, and then with Ben, it's like we know you did it,
no leeway.
So it's kind of like putting that feeling into the character of Gabby to kind of be like,
she's kind of the voice of a lot of audience members.
Yeah,
of
and
like,
she's
come
like,
on, Abby.
She's like, I'm gonna be Karma.
Right.
And I'm gonna make sure
I'm
you
gonna
get
be
what's
that
coming
bitch.
to you.
Right.
Yeah. I like it. Kudos to Camila for sitting there cheersing to herself with her very pink.
With that beautiful martini.
It was
Like,
really
give me some of
pretty.
that.
Thirsty.
And I loved. I don't know. This is just my little love. I loved when like it was almost like a 3-camera thing where like she looked, and then there was another look, and I was like, oh, she's just so evil.
Do you think she's crazy, or do you think she's
Lord. Let's
she's
hope
going
she doesn't
into
have
the
multiple
crazy room?
personalities next.
Do you think what?
She's like in a blonde wig. They'll never know it's me.
Redhead?
No,
What'd you ask?
If Gabby's going a little cuckoo,
No,
or
I don't think
she's
she's
just
going a little
revengeful.
cool.
She's
yeah,
just a revenge
I don't think
kid.
she's
she's just mad. She just wants
Yeah.
revenge. Okay.
Yeah, she just wants
She's got
revenge.
years of built
Because
up.
when you start talking to yourself, when there's monologuing going on, it's like
That's like
worst.
it
It's
reminds
the
me
worst.
of it reminds me of 90s days, like Kristen
Yeah.
DeMira and
I
all
haven't
of
seen
her,
that in a
you know.
long time.
Yeah.
Really?
So
I had to do
it's
it.
for me
Yeah.
it's nostalgic. I'm like, oh, it's the old days.
Even Lamone Archie
worst.
tweeted Gabby to be like, who is she talking to? Why is she talking so long? But I thought it was a great moment just to like let her have that. Things are kind of going the way that I want them to go, and I'm gonna be that bitch that plays karma and make sure they.
I just wish
get
they
what
would do a voiceover. It's not that hard. Like have her thinking and then have the voiceover, because it's just so awful to have
Maybe-
to sit there and talk to yourself.
But it happens
just
all
saying.
the time.
But I feel like
In real life,
I talk to myself all the time.
me too.
I'm
ever talk to yourself?
I'm an external processor, but it's more like I'm at the computer and I'm like, okay, what was I doing? It's more like unfinished mumbling, like, oh yeah, I need to.
No,
Amazon.
I have
Going
full
to Amazon.
I have full on conversations
Yeah.
with myself.
Diapers. I need more diapers.
More diapers.
More diapers, please.
More diapers.
It's like, oh, that was a smart move, Tami. Really? Really? You're really going to do that? I have
Really?
those conversations.
I talk to my
Okay.
dog like he's a person.
That's why
that's
he looks
different.
at you like that.
That's normal, though. I do
That explains everything. That's why your dog looks at you like that.
Okay.
So
Back to the show.
then the whole thing with Stefan and Kate.
Yes.
So can I
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So okay, so back to Gabby. What is her end game? Like it's just like
Just
tear?
exposing the truth, maybe. Just like getting. I think she just wants everybody to not
Like
think
what-
Abigail is a saint, right?
She wants
Is
to
that-
tear
I don't
everyone
know,
apart. She
like-
wants them to be as unhappy and have their life be as destroyed as hers has been.
okay.
I think
And
that's
and
the
in
end game.
switching the results,
Gabby needs Jesus.
Right.
she needs
Yeah.
the Lord.
Hashtag-
St. Luke's.
Can we start that hashtag? Gabby needs Jesus.
Hashtag Gabby
tease.
needs Jesus.
I'm a little not clear on what exactly her end game is. Like when we had like Kristen back in the day, her end game was clear. She was
Right.
holding on to John.
Right.
With Gabby's motives are clear. We know why she's doing it. I just don't understand what her.
Maybe she thinks she's gonna get with Chad.
Oh, she wants to get with Chad.
Maybe, don't you think?
I don't think it's that.
I don't think so
What do you
either.
think it is?
I think Gabby wants to take away the things that make them happy because she's had that happen.
Okay.
She has Ari who is upset with her because she was sent to jail for something that
Yeah.
she didn't do.
Yeah.
She can't have a child.
She was
Yeah.
beat up in jail.
That's huge.
And now
Framed
she
for
can't
another
have
murder.
kids.
I think that
Framed
was the
for
straw
two-
that
not
broke
one,
the
but two.
camel's back.
Yeah.
When that news was given to her, she's like, okay, game on.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I agree.
overall, it's Ari's reaction to Gabby being in and out of jail that has kind of struck this whole thing of like, all right, fine, you guys want to play with me, I'm gonna play with you.
Right.
And I think that's just what it is. She wants them to feel whatever it is that she's feeling right now.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
We'll go with that.
That review brought to you by Tony Moore.
And I'm sorry, but Abigail has taken everything away from Gabby.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And she's remorseful.
like, oh,
She
I'm
is
back.
remorseful, but
But-
I get not being able to just come from that place of absolute forgiveness. I get it.
Gabby can't get.
She's a Horton, a holy Horton,
Yeah, she can't get out of her head that she wasn't in her right frame of mind.
full of hashtags today.
Yeah.
Holy Horton. Gabby needs Jesus.
Hashtag Gabby needs Jesus.
So we don't know. Like back to the story. We don't know if Abigail went through with the abortion or not.
No.
I don't think she did.
She's
I
at the
mean,
office. She walks out. Stefan, which
It
again.
happened too quickly.
Yeah. Well, and then.
And she's not going to just skip out of the office.
Do y'all want
no.
Abigail to be with Chad or Stefan?
Stefan?
Chad.
Stefan. I can never. I'm sorry.
Chabby.
I'm too in the 90s.
Hashtag Chabby.
To be honest, in the beginning,
Yeah.
when Stefan first got to Salem, I kind of had a tingling sensation for Stefan and Abigail.
If he hadn't done what he did while Gabby or Abigail had her, if he hadn't done to her what he did, then maybe. But after that, no. I think the character is just unlikable now to me.
Not totally.
He's up there with
unlikable to
Sammy
me.
for you.
He's up there with Sammy. Yeah, they can go. He and Sammy can run off together.
Okay.
And
Can they? That's right.
Yeah, they can.
they could.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did it with another Demira. She did it with. They didn't run away together.
Brady and
but-
Teresa were cousins until they just knocked. They were like knock, 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 because they wanted Eric and I to be paired together, and he was like, "What the hell?" He opened the script and it was like, knock, knock, knock. Oh, hey, Brady. This was the literal explanation. The only thing Brady about you is your name. You were adopted. It was like. And then we had sex that night. So,
listen, one phone call
they
changes
can
everything.
rewrite it. They can rewrite anything on their show.
Right. So.
Come
All
give me
right,
a snug
we-
if we're not related blood. Okay.
About that later. We are. Okay, so we'll get back to more Stefan later in 10 minutes. But pretty much that's what happened there. Sad baby news.
But what was the lane of the roses at
Horton Town Square?
Like,
Right?
The baby's not buried there. Like, what are they doing? And again, something they didn't show. And we were
just
having this
needed a set.
conversation. Like, maybe we didn't need to see
What'd you
it.
say?
They just needed a set.
We didn't need a funeral, but
They could have just done like the hospital
confusing.
chapel
Yeah,
or something.
just
Like
like
they
a
didn't have to
second.
put big old
They
St.
didn't
Luke's
have
up.
time to. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like I don't know. It was a bit lackluster, but it was still emotional. It was still sad. It still got
I
to me a
love
little bit.
seeing Eli get emotional.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
it's been Lonnie, Lonnie,
He's
Lonnie,
been
and
he's been
everyone
the
else,
the
but-
rock, and then
Ooh,
he was able to
Lamone
kind of
nailed it.
break
oh
down.
my God, when you saw that little baby booty.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm going to be here for you now. And he was sobbing on her shoulder. It was great.
I mean,
And
I
then JJ
felt
threw up in his mouth.
I felt like they could have took it to the cemetery. Just a little bit of grass
Right.
and a headstone. Just that. Just that. Just saying.
We lost these two. They went somewhere else.
Yeah. I can't. So that was that.
That was that.
Word.
Oh, and by the way, there was a moment where I was literally like, Eli has hair. Where did that come
Yeah.
from?
I'm telling you, this was post holiday break. They took the break for the
Yes.
holidays. They came back.
They
And
came
that's
back.
what we're
That
seeing.
is exactly what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. I sent the picture to Lamone and I circled the hair and a big question mark. And he was like, I tried, but I'm not in my 20s anymore. Like it just doesn't work. And I put
I don't know what that means.
but I was like, it wasn't bad, but it was
I'm not
definitely
in my 20s anymore.
I don't
a
know.
lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s
I mean,
that
hello.
have really good hair.
38.
Hello.
What does
but
that mean?
but as far as like sometimes like recreating a
Shade.
hairstyle that you
Shade
did
Sunday.
back then may not work now. Like there's some things that I did back in the day that I don't think I can pull off now.
Like grow your hair out?
No. Like have braids. Like I had braids at one point. Like I don't think I can do that
You
now.
could. Like if you ever have kids, you just stop caring.
No.
I don't care at all what anybody thinks about me anymore. My neighbors are like, "Are you the actress?" I'm like, "No, that's my sister." Okay, I'm the homeless bag
I'm
lady
just
with the
the-
ponytail.
I'm just the foster mom.
With the hair tie on your finger.
Cheerio.
Chip. Cheers.
All right, really quick, let's get on to some AfterBuzz TV news.
Yes. So, hey, after
Oh, wait, no, not that one.
Buzzers- No, not that one. This one. So, want to share that here at the network, we produce after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and a whole lot more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans, and it's true. That's true. But now we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. Subscribing to our YouTube channels will also help you discover new shows we are sure you'll love. Since you're already tuned into Drama Channel, which is DISHIN Days, you might be interested in Queen of the South, Black Mirror, The Affair, and The Bold Type. That's really good. And remember, we have channels for other genres too, so please don't be shy about subscribing to them either.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. It's easy. Hit that subscribe button now for an even easier AfterBuzz experience. And if you let us know you did in the comments, we'll thank you on air. Thanks for being the best fans. I always like to say that twice. Thanks for being the best fans ever.
Ever.
We promise to continue to do our best to serve you.
That announcement brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. And continuing on with Days of Our Lives, we have our tidbits. We're going to breeze through this because the clock is ticking and I'm not sure if we can have more time. Okay. Really quick, Kate, Ted, and Stefan. Stefan is now like holding stuff over Kate and Ted.
And I appreciated Ted trying to stand up for Kate, but Stefan just mowed him down.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't even bother.
Nope.
So do we not like Kate and Ted together?
I'm okay with them.
Are you, Tami?
You know, he serves a purpose for her, but I don't feel any
heat. Yeah, yeah. I want to see him with Chloe.
Really?
Tell me all your
I would like to see. Yeah,
She will.
like to see him experiment.
I like Kate and Ted together. I think they balance each other out. I don't know.
I want Tony back.
Okay.
I'm okay with
Andre.
Tony Andre.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole how many
Yeah.
scenarios.
Okay, well, there was that.
There's
and
that.
then Sierra,
Yes.
Ben, Hope, and Rafe.
We only had one day of them.
I know.
I don't
I like them.
I don't like that they keep drilling Ben as if like he like started that fight. There's something
Like
about
there's no
that.
other possibility
start the
that
fire.
except he started the fire.
Right.
And then like the fire. Well, the fire inspector is suspicious. It's like that doesn't mean that he did it. Like get some hard evidence. Like they're going
Get
on
an
speculation.
arson expert.
Get a CS. They said CSI was investigating. Like CSI's got to come up with something, right?
CSI Miami, CSI.
CSI Salem.
And this week I was just kind of like I'm just kind of over how Hope and Rafe are treating Ben, and I guess because as a viewer we saw like his interaction with Sierra and what he actually did, and they don't know, so it justifies why they're treating him like that. But there's a part of me that's like, oh my goodness, like y'all are just badgering.
There was
this
a moment
boy.
where Hope was kind of. I felt she was softening, and she's like, okay, if you didn't do it,
No, it was a ploy.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was
she
all
was
fake.
just.
Oh,
yeah.
I think they're both just really attractive.
Sierra
Sierra and Ben, and they should
Don't-
just be together.
Right, they look so great together. And then Sierra comes busting through the house and basically looking at Claire like, I'm over you, you're a bitch, you can have Trip, I'm moving on.
Hobble.
And try not to like continue to take in all the stuff that I want.
Right.
And there was that.
And there was that.
All right. Will and Sunny, please somebody find the body of Leo. And something's coming.
Unless Leo's alive.
Something's coming because now Will got that creepy note.
That note with like.
Those letters were huge.
I had already predicted exactly what the note was going to say when he
Tate
opened
wrote
it.
it.
It's like, oh my God, it's exactly what.
Tate did it. Those
I
are some
know what
huge
you
letters.
did.
I was like, man, I can read this like from far back. Like you don't need the glasses or anything. I was like, okay, so here we go. Creepy letter. Something's. But then it's interesting. I feel like now it's going to get real interesting with that whole storyline.
Yeah, that's probably the goal.
Yeah.
And Will's still getting his memories back.
Yes, I like that he had
interesting.
that
That
memory
interaction with Kate, yeah,
Yeah,
that was sweet.
I like that. And
Oh,
Steve
man.
is about to get his eye. So great.
Can I just point out that on the tidbit notes it says Steve/Kayla/I. So I is its own, but it is its own character.
Last
It's
week-
like its own device.
It's driven the whole storyline.
Last week, one of the tidbits was Jennifer Eric Donuts. So,
I mean, donuts should always be a tidbit.
I still want to know where they get those donuts from.
Oh, I think they're probably just like, I'll find out next time. I think they're
Okay.
probably just like the bagged.
Really?
I said Edmonds.
who said
Yeah,
Edmonds?
I think they're probably Edmonds.
Right?
I
Don't
think
you
they
think?
probably are.
I
yeah.
wanna
I'll find out. I'm
know.
good friends with the prop. Like, hey guys,
Oh, yeah.
are you back? Hey, you know, it's just looking for
Just looking to find out.
Get them donuts.
Right. All right, and that has been your week of days. And now it's time for our segments. In a little while, hopefully we will have time
dumpster.
to.
the bags.
Hopefully we'll have time to take some questions for our lovely special
Lord.
guest Jen Lilley. But we're gonna go into our segments now really quick, and we're gonna start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Awards. All right, so don't look
Okay,
over here.
okay,
Don't look over here. Okay, so I had to give my 3 Snaps Award to someone who stood up
If
for
it's
themselves.
Eve, I'm gonna kill you.
No.
Okay.
You looked.
Sometimes in life, you have to cover yourself. and you have to let people know about you and save your own ass.
And look fabulous doing it.
And that's exactly what
Ted
Teresa
Baker
Donovan did this week. So when she stood up in courtroom and was like, listen, I don't know what JJ does, but that's not me. And and she went into her whole speech. I was like, yes, save yourself, honey. Say whatever it is you got to do to paint yourself in the best light possible. Screw everybody else. So for saving herself this week, Jen Lilley, Teresa Donovan, gets Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! I love that speech, by the way. I was like, she's like, I'm about to save myself. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to save myself in this moment.
Good job.
Okay. Boom. Boom.
Edit. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And now it's time for... Gosh, I love this part.
I told y'all my first headshots was to this. And I was like, you're going to need to turn that off. Yeah, it's awkward.
There were actually quite a few options this week, but when Friday rolled around and Camilla Bannis walked in with this mod 60s, I don't know what it's a remnant of.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, that's it. She looks amazing. She's ready to do battle, and she looks fantastic doing it, and she's got the figure for it, and love it. Couldn't find it online, so I'm not exactly sure who the designer is, but it's just like little hot pants, and well, it's not really hot pants. Just it's long slacks, little slacks, little midriff blouse, little front tie.
Yeah.
So Camilla,
Late 60s.
Super cute.
Gabby,
Good job.
you're on Revenge and you're looking great.
And that has been... It sounds so 80s.
Oh, because I think it is, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And now it's time for... Caption That.
Alrighty, this week's Caption That photo is of Tate, whose real name I don't know. Maybe you... What's the actor's name? Or can you say?
The Schroeder twins?
The Schroeder twins. Okay, one of the Schroeder twins looking very unpleased by whatever happened right before that. Anyway, this week's caption goes to Suzanne Sunshine on Facebook. And it says, Daddy, I got itchy in that hotel.
Bed bugs.
You always pick.
Hashtag
You
bed
always
bugs.
pick them. You know how to pick them.
And that was this week's Caption That.
I just want to blink every time I hear it.
What's so funny is that someone said, like, don't worry, Daddy, I'll come back as a teenager. And I, like, that one made me...
No,
That's
there
what-
was
that is what's
one.
gonna happen.
There was one,
Yeah.
and I almost went with it, but it was kind of creepy. It's like when I hope Eve's available when I come back as a teenager, and I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
But Eve wouldn't be on the show anymore because Teresa would jump out of the screen and slash her throat.
Yes. Oh, boy. All right, and now it's time for...
DISHIN Days Fan of the Week. Woohoo!
This is Twitter.
Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so fan of the week is going to Christina E.J. Love at NBC Days. I have been watching since I was 10. Now I'm 50. That's 40 years for me. I'm watching every episode. When I can't, I'm recording it. I get up at 5 a.m. to watch and catch up on recorded ones. I've laughed, cried, screamed, been delighted, mortified, felt the love in my heart. These families are a part of my family. Aww. I've started Horton traditions in my own family, Christmas ornaments, and love watching these new generations, and not to mention the older ones still on. Maggie, Marlena, Hope, Kayla, Steve, Victor, Julie, Doug.
Yay.
So thank you, Christina E.J. Love at NBC Days, for being fan of the week.
I love that fans have watched that long.
DISHIN
Can I just
Days.
say that's like really
Fan
awesome.
of the Week.
No other show has that.
Woohoo!
No.
I mean, maybe other soaps, but soap fans are just the tits.
All right, so let's go
What did you
into
just
some
Never
music
heard that
gossip.
expression?
All right, so really quick for news and gossip, we want to wish Camila Banas a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
It's her birthday today.
No, I would have made her a cake.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so
You're
beautiful.
fabulous.
It's a great picture.
Oh, this is the
She doesn't
Bumblebee
take a bad
Foundation.
picture.
No,
she
Yay.
doesn't. No,
She is so
doesn't.
beautiful. Yeah.
No. So happy birthday. She turned 28 today.
Yes.
She tweeted her age, so I'm allowed to say it.
True.
There's more to celebrate. Freddie Smith proposed to his longtime girlfriend
Congratulations.
last night in Malibu, and she said yes. So we're sending a huge Dishin Days congratulations to you, Freddie and Alyssa.
Yay.
That's like a great proposal spot.
That's
He
beautiful.
did.
Look at that.
He did good.
And they're gonna post videos and more photos.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know if he told her to wear white.
It was so
Because
beautifully
they're both wearing
coordinated.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it was like
how does that happen?
Because when he was posting yesterday on one of his stories, he was like prepping for a photo shoot with her. So I think that was like
So he just kind of
So he was
slid
like,
it in.
Yeah.
hey, let's just do a
Yeah.
photo shoot. And she was like, okay,
Just to
what
make
are we
sure she
wearing?
looked amazing
It's a white
and-
party.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
I love how you had to play all that out.
I did. I needed to know, like, how do people coordinate this? Because, again,
All right. Moving
Interesting.
on. If you're interested in meeting the cast of Days of Our Lives, you'll have the chance on Saturday, August 11th at the Park Meadows Mall in Denver, Colorado. Details and cast attendees are yet to be announced, but you can
I
follow
won't be there.
NBC Days. You can follow NBC Days on the Instagram for the latest updates on that. Aloma Wright, who played Maxine for several
she's
years,
awesome.
She's
had
so
a
awesome.
guest starring
Miss her.
role on the show Claws last week on
Shout out to
TNT.
my mama.
she's so good.
The episode titled Double Dutch is available to watch on TNT On Demand and on the TNT app.
I love Aloma
She's
so
good,
much.
too.
Yeah.
She's so talented, so nice, so funny, so brilliant, so amazing.
They need to bring her back.
They do, and they need to bring back her
She
son.
is. And Anne,
Oh, and
please, Meredith. Meredith's got
Yes, I miss her
Oh,
so
yes.
much on the landscape of Days.
She's so good.
Yeah.
she's still at Dave. They still have her host Dave Days every year. So
Do they?
yeah,
They do.
she was there
Well,
last.
she did last year.
And she's like, hey guys, are you gonna bring him back? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Jen Lilley, our friend here, has some new music coming out. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah. Well, I'm spilling some deets, some insider deets. If you sign up for my newsletter on jenlilleymusic.com.
I signed up.
Yeah, so you get to hear a little sneak peek, and then you're gonna get more details if you sign up. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, go sign up right now. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Go sign up. And lastly, this Friday you can join Mary Beth Evans and some of her co-stars for a fabulous fan event with the cast of the Bay the series
nice.
from 12 to 3 p.m. at Crab Avenue in Glendale, California. For more information, or to buy tickets, go to yournumber1fan.com.
Aw.
All right, and that has been your news and gossip. And before we head out, we are going to show you what is coming up on Days this week.
What you wanna? That's what it looks like it is.
it.
Yeah. Oh. I want you to tell me how you did it.
You're not gonna leave this park alive.
Oh,
Okay.
God, I wasn't expecting that.
When I saw this,
my
I was like,
God.
I
oh
wasn't either.
my God.
Yeah.
It's about to be so
Oh my God.
intense.
Goosebumps.
Wow, yeah.
So
I have
intense.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
was not expecting that. Okay.
And I'm sure it's like that moment where, like, you've been expecting to see someone at some point, and now the moment is here, and you've thought about what you're gonna
Oh
do.
my gosh.
It's gonna happen. So tune in next week.
All right.
We did not have time
No,
for your
we need
questions or
another
phone
hour.
calls. Sorry, everyone, but I always want to thank Jen Lilley for coming in. She's still in
So
shock about what she
gracious.
just
Thank
saw.
you.
I
Thank
am
you.
so shocked. I'm just like thinking as a mom, like, oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be that's gonna be a scene. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone is gonna be prepared for that. But thank you again for
Yeah.
stopping in, and we're so sad that your stint as Teresa is on pause
It's on
for
pause.
right now.
It's on pause. I'll
But
come
we
back as
hope
much as
that
they
you
want.
will. Yeah, I hope you will grace Salem again with your presence.
I'm like, let's do it again in November, December, January. It's a good time for me.
Well, let's go. Let's go. Someone pick up the bat phone and make it happen. All right, before we head out, we'll let you know where you can find us, stalk us, like all of our stuff. Michael Mattis.
Say
let the
nasty
folks-
things about us.
Right.
Michael Mattis on ML Mattis on Instagram and ML Mattis1 on Twitter. That's where I am.
And on Twitter, you can find me at Tami Goveia, and on Insta and Facebook, Tami Goveia Official.
Jen Lilley.
Instagram and Twitter, Jen, Jen_Lilley, Lilley.
And don't forget to sign up for her newsletter so you can
Sign
hear that
up,
sneak
sign
peek
up.
of her music.
It's a really good album.
Yeah.
I can say that because I didn't have everything to do with it. It's amazing.
And of course, you can find Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, Dishin Days, or on Twitter, _Dishin Days. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Thank you guys for spending your Sundays here with us, and we'll be back next Sunday for another full recap of NBC's #1 hit, Days of Our Lives. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Yeah, that.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.